another Sunday. It's always Sunday. It seems to be Sunday increasingly often. And I don't know what I'm doing anymore. If I ever did. And everybody is here. Except for me. But I'm the only person that's here, so that completely makes no sense at all. Oh my goodness me. I don't know. It just seems to be the days, they all blend into one, don't they? How have you been? I've been fine. Yes, I'm having a conversation with myself. It's how it is. It's how it always is. So, this week, what's happened? Oh, it was Burns night last Sunday, so I went to that. I think I talked about it. It was Saturday. I talked about it last week. I don't even know what's happening anymore. The days have just blended into one. What have I done this week? I don't know. I went out yesterday and it tired me out. I went out and I met people and we did stuff and I had nachos. Ooh, the excitement. Yeah. So, yeah, and we had talks about air fryers. It's like everybody's got air fryers now. It's like, ooh, isn't an air fryer good? Yes, it's great. Everything is great. Everything is great. If you've got an air fryer, everything is great. Who is here? Is it Philip? I don't know. That was out of tune. But all of it is, so that's okay. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah. What else did we talk about? Not very much. Oh, and I did like a little a rehearsed reading ages and ages ago, and I put it up last year, and I sent to all the people that were in it, because I changed it into like a little audio file, and I thought that's not too bad. I'll send it to all the people that were in it, because it's years ago that I recorded it in somebody's house. And hello Peter. I recorded it in somebody's house, and I sent to every single person that was in it as a courtesy, and just so that I, because you want them to go, oh yeah, that's all right, yeah, put that up, oh, that's quite funny, or whatever. Nobody responded to me at all. And I saw one of the people that was in it and said, oh, did you ever hear that? And they're like, no, they never saw the message. I sent it on Facebook in a message thread. Absolutely nobody had seen it. So I sent it again yesterday. When did you send it? Last year. Like, early last year. It wasn't even like the new year. It was like really far. So I don't know what they think of it, because they still haven't got back to me, so maybe they did see it and they just decided not to say anything because it was so very much not what they were expecting. But they weren't expecting anything because it was so long in the past that they've forgotten about it, probably. What else have I done? Oh, I found out that if you eat peanut butter, you remember ages ago I did a peanut butter diet, Josephine thing. Hello, Philip. And it was a joke really about how you can lose lose weight with eating peanut butter and stuff. If you've seen it, whatever. It's more complicated than that. Not very. If you've got acid reflux, it turns out that helps you if you eat peanut butter. So in fact, peanut butter is a cure-all. It's a panacea. Very good. And what else have I done? Oh, I was reading Frankenstein this week because I had to teach somebody Frankenstein, and it's ages since I read it. Ages ago. I did it at university because I did a gothic horror module. So that was fun, going back to reading Frankenstein. Frankenstein, obviously the monster's not called Frankenstein. It's the scientist, if you can call him a scientist. He's a student, really. But the monster is sort of called Frankenstein, because if Victor Frankenstein is the monster's father, then the monster is, his surname's Frankenstein. So there you go, the monster. And it's, he says something about being called Adam at some point, but he doesn't say his name is Adam. He just sort of compares himself with Adam, because he is the first man. He's the first monster man. Yeah, Frankenstein. I don't think there's ever been a proper, faithful to the book adaptation of that. But then again, maybe you could say that Dracula. Yeah, there's been a sort of adaptation that's sort of Dracula-like. A couple of things that are... Although there was the 70s version, they swapped around the characters of Mina and Lucy. I remember, and it was like very strange. Why did they change their names? So Mina was Lucy and Lucy was Mina, or something like that. Why did they do that? That's the Frank Langella one. Oh, I know all about Frankenstein, me. I don't know anything about Frankenstein, me, but, I'm teaching it anyway, because all you have to do to teach things is know a little bit more than the person you're teaching at that time. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So there's 4 of you. 4 whole people. How has everything been this week? Have you had a lovely week? It's cold. I heard it's going to snow again on the 17th. Oh, well, that's a coincidence. The first vampire novel-ish was written at the same time that Via Diodorata, was it called? The Villa Diodorata. Where Frankenstein was written, they had a competition because they were bored, because there'd been a volcano the year before and it had completely devastated the climate in the world. So it was really foggy. So they went to Lake Geneva to this villa that Byron owned, and it was horrible. They couldn't go boating, they couldn't go walking. It was absolutely horrible. Oh, hello, Arafingal. Oh, thank you very much. And they couldn't go anywhere. So they were like, oh, let's just have a competition to write a spooky story. And Claremont, who was the stepsister of Mary, who was later Shelley, Mary Wollstonecraft, she's not, her middle name is Wollstonecraft. Anyway, oh God, I can't remember her surname. Anyway, she ended up being Shelley. Anyway, her stepsister and her went with Percy Bysshe Shelley to go to this villa to visit Byron, who was there with Dr. Polidori, who was about 19 at the time, and a doctor, a companion to Shelley. And Shelley had written a fragment of a novel that's a little bit sort of vampire-like. And later on, Polidori adapted that into The Vampire, which is, with a Y, vampire, which he didn't want published. Somebody published it and said that it was written by Byron, and Byron was like, I didn't write that. So he had to correct the record to say, it was me all along. And then he was dead by the time he was about 24, so he didn't last long. He probably had so much promise, but he had written it, and it's the very first vampire novella. So it had a lot of stuff going on at that little Gothic. If you've watched Ken Russell's Gothic, which is it's a fictionalized version, and also there's a Doctor Who episode set in the same place, which is not as dramatic as the actual circumstances, I don't think, really, but there is a Cyberman that's a little bit wonky in the Doctor Who episode. There's a lot going on. I'm sorry, I've just, this time last year I had a tooth out, and it's still, the gap is, Philip said, oh, you get used to it, the bite profile and stuff, and I really am not. It's still, really bothering me, because it doesn't hurt, it's just really, really gappy, really annoying. Yes, Boris Johnson's horror classic. He is very much like Frankenstein's monster in that the bits of him look like they should be good looking, but then there's a green sort of like yellow-eyed hue and gory, nasty skin hanging from the frame. So yes, he's very much like the monster in Frankenstein. So it's a good call to bring that up as well. That Boris Johnson and the monster from Frankenstein. Of course, the monster from Frankenstein is very erudite, and he learns his lesson, although everyone's scared of him, and it's the other way around with Boris Johnson, because for some reason people are charmed by him in a way that you would think really shouldn't be possible with somebody that's that, I don't know, I can't even describe Boris Johnson. He's just so, what is that? What is that creature? He's more like the Yeti, really, isn't he? Yeah, I don't want to badmouth Boris Johnson. I do want to badmouth. You get in trouble for doing things like that in this country these days. Yeah, exactly. A toffee apple is a good method of combing your hair, very much. Get used to the... Oh, what did you say? Get used to the... Yes. Get used to the gap. Oh, yeah. Oh, hello, Stephanie. Well, it's been a year, and I keep forgetting about it, but then I'm like, why is it bothering me now? It's really annoying. I was gonna, because I was still working full time at this time. I was like looking into having an implant, and it costs quite a lot of money, more than £2,000. But I was like, oh, maybe I'll just save up for it. But then I didn't have an income coming in, and I never really got around to it. And also, I got it was plague time, so it's the day that I was going to go and visit the people to ask about it is the day that I ended up having to self-isolate. So never got around to it, and then a week later they said that they didn't want me at my full-time job anymore, so I never really had the £2,000 or the inclination. And also I heard that it takes like a year in order to put it in. Yeah, oh, thank you for making me feel even better about it. It's gonna never get better, is it? So I thought maybe I'll try and save up for it, and you look up the turkey teeth thing, but then you see people's turkey teeth and you go, yo, I don't think so. You look like a turkey with your teeth, and they're all sort of shiny and blocky and awful, and they've got little points underneath. And I mean, it would just be the one. I wouldn't get my other teeth done. It's just like, whoa, that's a lot. It's a lot of money for a little piece of metal and a thing, and you can't eat crunchy things, and that seems to be the main point. Yeah, it takes time. It does take time. So I can't eat crunchy things on that side of my face anyway, and I really want to. Maybe the reason it feels something is, yes, very funny, is because I just ate peanut butter. The dirtiest joke I ever heard was about peanut butter. But I won't tell it to you, because every time I tell it to anyone, they look really shocked and go, what? I can't believe you said that, so I won't tell it to you. You just have to make it up as you go along. But it involved a chicken and some peanut butter, and it was quite rude. And I heard it when I was 14, and I repeated it in my first stand-up gig, because somebody said, tell us a real joke, and I went, this is the only joke I know. And I also said it at a residential course about counselling that I went to, and everyone was like, what? I can't believe you said that. You don't know the sort of person that's going to say a joke like that. It's the only joke I know, and it was told to me by Sean Carson. I've said this before. Sean Carson, who does Doctor Who audiobooks now, and he's responsible for the most shocked looks I've ever had from anyone ever. And then people, oh, you can't say that joke, it's somebody else's joke. I always say it's Sean Carson's joke if I say it. So I do give credit. It's one of those things. It was a stupid joke that I think he must have made up with his friends at youth theatre in Abergavenny when we were doing, I don't know, I can't remember, because Sean Carson was in youth theatre after I was in youth theatre. That's the weird thing. Maybe it wasn't Sean Carson. Maybe it wasn't him at all. Now I'm thinking he was in it because he was also in Dracula Spectacular that they did just after I left, which I would have liked to do, but I left because I was very, very devastated by the whole thing, because I got sacked from being in and in spectacles. I was Sheila in and in spectacles, but I put on weight over Christmas and I got bullied out of doing it. So they said, no, you can't do it anymore because you don't fit the costume. And so I was the stage manager, and I did not like being the stage manager, and the stage manager started being Sheila. We swapped roles, and then I left because I hated it. And then I was in the insect play, and I've said this before, I was getting so much confidence. I was in 3 different plays. I was in like a pantomime play in the local amateur dramatics. I was in the youth theatre play, and I was in my school. We were doing a school thing for drama, and I was the lead role, and it all fell down like a house of cards, blah, 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 because of this. Because I was like, I don't deserve anything, so I gave up my part in the insect play, and because I was like, I can't cope, and it was all awful, and if that hadn't happened, I'd have probably been really famous by now, but I'm not, and I blame fat shaming. So that's what the problem was with that. Horrible. He just didn't like me. Steve, the person that was in charge of that drama, the insect play, exactly, it was the insect play. by Carlo. I can't remember now. It's ages ago. But yeah, I was the lead character in that, and I ended up being a nameless ant because somebody else got given my part, and I got given the. I thought, oh well, I'll swap with that person, but I didn't get their part. I got some random part, and that their part got recast too. It was like, we've let us all down. You don't even get to say anything. You're just an ant. Very much like the ants. I was just before I came on here, I was watching a video about cordyceps and ants, because I haven't seen The Last of Us now because I don't have whatever platform that's on, Hulu or something. But I've seen nothing but comments about it and commentary about it and videos about it, and I just scrolling on YouTube and I saw this thing about ants, and I don't know about that, Stephanie. I really don't know whether they'll come out of retirement. But anyway, cordyceps. But I've seen loads of YouTube and TikTok videos. Like, most of them are talking about Last of Us, which, as I say, I haven't seen. But there was one that was saying, before I'd even seen any of that cordyceps is a really good supplement and everyone should take it. And I was like, oh, that sounds really good, before I saw the rest of it and all the stuff that it can do. And so somebody's trying to trick people into taking it so that this happens. I'm very suspicious. I don't know. I don't think it is an actual supplement that you should take that will make you really strong and amazing. But if it does make you strong and amazing, then will it be you? Because it takes over your whole muscle systems. And apparently it doesn't attack your brain. It just attacks your muscles. And so you're moving around and you can still very much be aware of it. It turns out, though, these ants, they climb up. When the fungus has got them, they crawl away. And they get exactly 25 centimetres up a leaf, go on the underside of a leaf that's always on the north side of a plant at like 30 degrees or something, facing the sun every single time. So they go every single time in the exact same place on a different plant, obviously not on the same plant, because that would be weird if there's billions of ants on one leaf. So in the same position on many different plants on the underside of a leaf, and then they just stay there, and then a big stick of fungus grows out of the back of their necks. Do ants have necks? I'm going to say so, yeah, the thorax, the bit at the back of them, and it goes like that, and there's like a big pom-pom at the top of it, and then it goes poof, and then all the spores go down and all the other ants get infected. Lovely. That's how ants get infected by cordyceps. So you don't have to watch that video now. I fell asleep, so I didn't see it all, but it started talking about toxoplasmosis and stuff as well, and how mice get it, and from whatever it is, and then cats eat it, and then people get it, and so people are attracted to cats. Not in that way. Everyone that likes cats has probably got toxoplasmosis because they think they like cats. They don't like cats. The cats have, yeah, it's just like, yeah, some sort of terrible thing taking over your mind. You don't like cats at all. It was all a trick by the tiny microorganisms that control us all. Then again, of course, we are mostly made up of microorganisms. Yes, you think that they're better company, but that's the fungus speaking. It's not fungus, it's just a tiny microorganism. You're a cat butler? What does a cat, what do you have to do to be a cat butler? You just like carry little trays around. You are, sir, you're served with your little cat food and tuna and everything. Yes, cat butlers. Don't know where that was going, but yeah. So I used to like cats, but I don't know, maybe. Oh, you've never had it. Well, that's good. You never have it 20 years ago. You don't know that you don't have it now. You're being tested, but now that you don't have it, you don't know whether you do now because things change. Yes, exactly. Do whatever the cats want. I used to really like cats, but I'm just like, I was thinking today, because I saw something about dogs. There was like an advert about, it was an advert about don't get rid of your dogs, we'll help you. So, and I was thinking, do I like dogs? I'm like, I don't know. Do I like cats? I don't know. I like cats and dogs about the same amount. They're all right, but I just like don't like touching them. And also, I remember having cats and dogs in the house. And what happens is you get fur and dirt everywhere, and it's just horrible, and dust in the air, and you just feel ill all the time. So yeah, if you might have it. I used to like pets, but I just realised I'm just very like ew, because I'm like I like stroke a cat and then go and then I have to wash my hands straight away because I'm like because I think about where they've been. It's like I like animals as much as the next person, and they're perfectly nice, and I would never do anything to harm them, and they're quite nice and fluffy, but they are horribly dirty, really. No, I do like cat. No, you're shocked that I don't like animals. I do like animals. I just don't want. I don't want the responsibility. I mean, I looked after a cat for ages, and I've had a dog. I had the cat, my dog Timmy, and we had a dog called Tuppence that I loved that we had to give away because my brother used to mistreat it. And it didn't really like that, so it got given to a farm, and that's a euphemism. Oh, they gave it to a farmer. It's like I'm assured because I said, "Are you sure?" And my parents assure me that they did give it to a farmer. I don't. Yeah, exactly. It was like I wouldn't mind having like lambs and chickens and things to live outside. I wouldn't eat them. I just like use them as pets. Maybe I'd get some wool from the lambs and eggs from the chickens and just look after them. But I wouldn't eat the chickens and the lambs, obviously. The trouble is, if you kept them in the back garden here, then all the foxes would come and eat them. And I don't think that that's a good idea. There's so many foxes. Like I heard, I didn't know there were any dogs around here, but I heard the foxes. If you've ever lived in a place where there are foxes, the foxes are very noisy. And I heard a dog barking really loud, and obviously foxes doing whatever foxes are doing. It was like, there's a bit of a scramble in the back, and if we had anything like that, a goat, I'd like a goat, and then a goat could eat all the weeds, and I'd look after the goat. I like a goat, I think, and maybe yeah, we could keep a monkey in the tree, and the monkey could do its own thing, and I could just wave to the monkey. So like, I like animals from a distance, or not being messy on the carpet, because I don't want to have to hoover all the time, is really, because I'm not the cleanest person in the world, and if I had to clean up after an animal every single day, then I would be so annoyed. Really, it's like, keep it clean, do as little cleaning as possible, and and by keeping things as clean as possible as you're going along, that helps, if it's just otherwise it's just overwhelmingly messy. Yeah. What? Goats? Yeah, I don't know what's going, but I don't know what's happening. You're having conversations, and I can't keep up with the conversations. But I like animals as much as anyone. They are fine from a distance. They are furry and they're fluffy, and I'll wash my hands after them. But they mess up your carpet, and they poo on your floor, and they make you do things for them, and then you have to pay money to feed them. Pay money to feed them, and that gets really expensive, and there's a cost of living crisis at the moment, so I probably wouldn't have a pet. But I don't mind other people's pets. Like, we had a cat that used to come here all the time, an orange cat. What was it called? TJ, BJ, DJ, I don't know what it was called, but it was a cat. I can't remember what it was called now, but it wasn't our cat. It just came to the house. It knocked on the door and came to the house. We had a letterbox at the bottom of the door, and it knocked on the door to be let in. And sometimes we'd feed it, and we'd let it sleep on the sofa and stuff, and it would be nice, and it would be fluffy, and then it would go, and we wouldn't have to deal with cat litter and stuff like that. And I don't know where it went, but it turns out it was next to a neighbour's cat, and I never knew. It was here all the time. We thought it was a stray. Everyone fed it in the neighbourhood. And then it came here with a big cut on it, and we put some ointment on it, and it came back with a note on it saying, please don't put ointment on my cat. And then I realised it wasn't our cat, it was somebody else's cat. And they said, don't put ointment on the cat. And then it died. But it didn't die because of the ointment on the cat. I wasn't here when it died. I think I might have been in Edinburgh or something at the time. But yeah, it was a neighbour's cat, and I never knew. No clue. It's there's other cats come. There's like two little. There's a black cat. There was like two little kittens that came, two little black kittens, and they used to come at the same time. And then only one used to come to at a time, and I was like, oh, what? Maybe there's only one cat now. One came to the back one time, and I thought, oh yeah, that's nice. And then because we hadn't seen the other one, opened the door, there was another one up the other side, and it was only then we realised there were still two black cats. It wasn't one black cat, it was two black cats all the time. But then ever since that, and we realised that, I've only ever seen one black cat. I've never seen the two of them, so I'm not sure whether it was some sort of glitz in the matrix. Oh, so glitzy. Glitch in the matrix situation where there is only really one cat. It was just because we were like, and yeah. So a herd of black cats would be ever so awesome. I love black cats. They're the best cats. Orange cats are the second best cats. And I think all the others are all right. Tortoiseshells, I've heard, are quite violent. So I thought that all tortoiseshells, I'd been told all tortoiseshells were female. But apparently 1 in 300,000 is not. Which I say this because I saw Extraordinary on Disney, and there's a cat person, like a person that turns into a cat, and they're a male person, and the cat is a male cat, and I was like, oh, so it was a tortoiseshell. That's what, tortoiseshells, I don't know, biology's weird anyway, so, like, there's a lot of things going on with biology that you can't, it's inexplicable really. So why? Because if they swallow a lot of fur, then it's stuck there, then it comes back out again. It's not like owls though. Owls do that because that's how they get rid of their, that's everything comes up, and you see little balls of whatever they've eaten, fur and bones and mice, things like that. But self-cleaning, exactly. Yum, 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 and then everything's, yeah. And maybe an owl pellet song. Okay, all right then. Have you ever seen an owl pellet? An owl pellet? I've never seen an owl pellet. Not in real life anyway, but I know that they're made. Owl pellets, oh, owl pellets. They're made of mice, and they're made of fur, and they're made of all the things that owls eat. And have you ever read The Owl Service by Alan Garner? Alan Garner. Oh, Alan Garner wrote a book called The Owl Service. It's based very much on the Mabinogion. It's got I can't remember. There's a woman in it that's made out of bits of owl. She is made out of owl, and she's all broken up, and she lives on a plate in the attic, and she makes lots of noise in the attic. Oh my gosh, you used to do that, did you? Anyway, owl pellets, owl pellets, owl pellets, owl pellets, owl pellets are what owls make in the night, and owls are great, and they put their faces around that way and that way and that way, and they put their heads almost all the way around. And owl pellets are quite nice, as long as you don't eat them, and as long as you're not a mice. By mice, I mean more than one mouse, because any mouse in a house is liable to get eaten by an owl if it sees them. And the owl can see quite a lot because it puts its head all the way around. And weird, yes. Danger otter, yes, exactly. Let's see, oil pellets. Oil pellets is not the same as owl pellets. What am I talking about? Yeah, I don't know. Owls are fascinating creatures. Are they wise? Who knows? They've got big eyes. Oh, that's all I knows. Yes, okay. You want an owl in your house? I'm not sure I've ever seen an actual owl. I feel like I've seen a barn owl, but I think I might have just ignored. Have I seen an owl? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say, or is that an eagle? I've seen a bird of some description, for sure. Have I seen an owl? I'd like to see an owl. I just feel like I've seen an owl. It's just hoot, hoot. Yeah, I've heard them hoot. But have I heard an owl hoot? I've heard owls hoot. I've also heard cuckoos go cuckoo, cuckoo. I always get confused because cuckoo and whoop, 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 tweet, toot does not sound the same. But for some reason I get them confused. And I said also, talking of birds, that there were parakeets in the park. I've seen them flying over the house recently. They're coming closer and closer. The parakeets are coming. The parakeets are coming. Flying above your head and making a lot of noise. And also, I was under a tree. This has reminded me of that. I was walking and a tree shed bits of wood just in front of me. And I was like, that was lucky. I nearly got hit by bits of wood. The trees are trying to attack me, the trees. Anyway. It's that time. I'm going to go and watch Happy Valley in a minute because it's the last episode and I'm all caught up with that. That's grim. It's fun. Parakeets, lorikeets. I know. I think they're parakeets. They look like parakeets. They're green with bits of red on them, and they've got really long tails, a bit like swifts. Swifts have got long tails, but these ones are more green, and they're definitely parakeets. They're parakeets. They are definitely parakeets. Anyway, I'm going now, and I'll see you next Sunday. Probably going back to Wales for a couple of weeks, but I don't know when. I'm going to work out what I'm doing this month. But I will see you. Have a great week. See ya. Bye-bye. See lots of owls. See lots of cats. See lots of dogs. Oh, peanut butter's coming back up like an owl pellet. I'll see you then. Be well. Bye-bye.